Oh,
Welcome back.
welcome back.
Welcome
Yeah.
back. We do have a new batch of students. We're still on the smaller window, it looks for the camera, but that's okay. We'll be with it. We do have a few messages we want to read out from donations that have come in. So if you make a donation and you pay for the incentive to give a specialized message, we will read it out. So I'm not sure that Jim's ever got read out. This was one of the first donations that we got, which
was the very first
was the
donation,
very first
a couple of days
donation,
ago.
other than the test donation, and it was looking forward to a fun stream. So thank you, Jim. We also had a message from BugMod. Came in with his donation, said, "Let's get this bread," and we are well on our way to that. With the match donation, we are
About 2,000.
right around 2,000. That's great. We also have from Mike Osman, who made a $200 donation. Best of luck reaching your goal. We really appreciated that. And then we also have the message from Sally M of good luck. We really appreciate that. And Prof Meow, who has been a big part of organizing SudokuCon and the live stream, has made a donation as well of $200. Thank you, Prof Meow, and has the message of looking forward to welcoming everyone in Boston in 2025, and extra info of to DM on Discord. And let's see, and then there was some more there that I know our setters and solvers for other channels will act on. And then the other message that we've gotten recently is from an anonymous donor who donated $50. Thank you to all setters and YouTubers in the Sudoku world. The lives of a lot of us mere mortals are better just because you exist. And thank you, Sven, creator of the pad.
Yes, thank you, Sven.
Very much thank you, Sven.
Ranks and Sven and Eric Fox and who has it now?
Yes.
Yes.
If you didn't ask, I would be able to tell you it is Afraid Not.
Yes, Afraid Not, who is now running F Public.
Yes.
Thank you all. And to Sudoku Maker, which is
Sudoku Master Zemek and SudokuMaker.app.
Yes. Lots of people doing fantastic work out there.
Yes.
Making it possible for the rest of us to do things.
Yes, and thank you as well also for this for SudokuCon and the organizers, to Karabat, who was the person who's getting this off the ground, and to the producers for all of the segments, especially Glipperall, who's producing this segment and keeping us straight and sorting out our tech when we flub.
Yes.
So, all right, we're back with new students. So,
and it looks like there was a $100 donation just after that $50 donation. So thank you to the other anonymous person.
Excellent, wonderful. Okay, so
Crazy
do you want to
money.
introduce yourselves?
I'll start. I'm Damselfly.
I'm Bitmask.
I'm Cordo.
And all three of these have been setting for at least 2 weeks, and in some cases, a month. Right? You've been setting about a month?
Oh, that's not true, though. Damselfly's been setting for at least a month, but Bitmask and Cordump have been setting for
2 weeks.
a week? 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks with 4x4s. 2 days with 9x9s. So, yes. Yeah, new setters. So, okay.
They're very exciting.
Well, obviously, we have to ask the most important question. If you were a vegetable, which would you be and why?
Ooh, potato. Gotta be potato.
The carrot.
I'd say tomato.
Another carrot.
I have been told by a friend that I have to say fennel or spinach. I'm not sure which.
And that was Missing, who is once again off camera because we have once again lost each other. So,
Only one of you.
The mysterious
It's more
voice.
important to have the students on camera.
it does. I agree.
You're part of it, but
No, other way. There we go. Why don't we, I do need to keep the ability to type and things, but why don't you three scoot in so that you're up closer, and then we'll try to scoot behind you.
I'm trying to get in between these two.
Oh yeah.
that's over. But yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And what are you guys' areas of study? What's your major or whatnot?
I'm a math major with emphasis in finance and actuarial science.
I'm computer science with a minor in cybersecurity.
I'm just a computer science major with a minor in business administration.
And which year are you in, each of you?
Oh, I'm a junior.
Junior.
I'm also a junior.
Cool. Why'd you take this class?
Pretty
I-
much.
I was recommended it. I knew a student who took it in spring semester. So
I was just looking through a list of courses that I wanted to take, and I saw this one in here. I was like, oh, I really like puzzles, and paradoxes seem really interesting too. So I thought I'd just give it a shot.
I took his class last year, and he recommended it to me. So,
I talked you into it.
yeah, you did. But
Well, that was because you liked Sudoku,
yeah, it is.
and so
Uh-huh. It was a
Seemed like a
mutual
natural
thing.
thing.
We started talking about it. He's just like, you should take the CI. And I was like, okay.
CI stands for Creative Inquiry, which is the vehicle for undergraduate research at our institution.
Oh, cool. So I noticed that like one person is setting for a month and one person is setting for 2 weeks. So like obviously there's some kind of weird registration thing, like it's not normal semesters. So how does the registration for this class work? Is it
We're
I don't know how that
technically, I think,
works.
in different classes.
Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're in the creative
Yeah.
inquiry, we're in the normal class.
Yeah.
So we have a
Oh,
research
okay.
project for undergraduates, and students in that research project, some of them started setting a month ago. And then we have the Puzzles and Paradoxes class, which is the one that Core and
Bitmask.
Bismask are in, and they started setting a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. So that's the difference in schedule there.
Right.
We actually started the Puzzles and Paradoxes class with cryptic crosswords. So we didn't get to variant Sudoku until, what, a month ago with
Yeah,
solving.
setting.
And then
Solving, yeah.
2 weeks ago for setting.
What do you guys prefer?
Honestly, I prefer Sudokus more. I'm not very big in terms of vocabulary and knowing a lot of esoteric words, and so sometimes when it comes to trying to do cryptic crossword puzzles, I will sit there staring at a clue for 10 minutes, just reading the surface level. But Sudoku, I can think through it like mathematically or just logically and go, oh, this should go here because this would go here, and this would stop this from doing this, and it makes a lot more sense to me overall, and I really enjoy solving them. But setting them can be really fun because I can, once I finish setting one, I'm just like, oh, I like the way this looks. This looks nice.
So do you like setting or solving better?
Tough one. I would say solving, I think, because I like the satisfaction when it comes from solving it. I mean, setting has a different kind of satisfaction from when I watch people do mine and then enjoy it. Or they do, like, I finish it and I think, oh, I like the logic here, or oh, I like how this solves and how this path goes. But I think, I don't know, just solving them just to me gives me a big amount of satisfaction when I finish, and I enjoy that.
Is that a question?
I like that.
Yeah,
You bring up- Yeah, everyone can answer that, sure, for sure.
yeah, I can go ahead. I always preferred solving Sudoku, probably because I did that more than setting. But I think I had to set one recently, and I tried embedding a little secret in mine, and then that made it harder to set because I had to make sure that all my other constraints still enforced that secret to be made in the solution.
I kind of like both of them. I'm not that great at setting yet because I just still kind of started in like relatively. But when it comes to solving, I've been doing that for like years. It's just something I really got into over COVID, and then recently been more into like the more variant when I started the CI in a little bit last spring. But both are fun. So
I was going to say before that I liked what I've forgotten the pseudonym now, but one of you said about the joy that you get from seeing other people solve the thing that you said.
That was Core
Which-
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which sort of raises an interesting question of, do you think setting has like intrinsic value, just like the act of setting? Like if no one ever solved it, is it still worth setting the thing?
I think it's like a little nice mental challenge for yourself, or you got to think through what you want, and I mean just creating it. Like even looking at a puzzle that I have that is finished solving, I know the path, I know how it goes. I can look at that and think and just get a satisfaction being like, yeah, I set a puzzle that is unique. I like how it goes. I like the logic. It makes sense to me. Overall, it feels good to finish it And it's like working on a project that you worked on for a decent bit of time. You put in the effort, and you get the satisfaction from watching it just be fulfilled. It's a nice little thing. Just that watching people solve it's an added little bonus.
I think it's kind of like art in that
Yeah.
like sense. Like you're making it for yourself, and even though it's like fun to see other people, like I'll give my best friend like every Sudoku that I make, be like, you should solve it because she just enjoys it. But I think outside of that, it's just kind of like if you paint a picture, you're painting it kind of just because you want to paint instead of just maybe someone will look at it and like it. So. That's my take on it, at least.
I appreciate that.
Now I'm worried now though, Bitmask, because I don't think we've solved your puzzle yet. I know you sent us one yesterday. Is that the one that has the secret embedded in it?
Yeah, it is.
Ooh, all right.
When
now,
you solve
pressure's
it,
on.
you'll see what it is.
Excellent.
If we solve it, we'll
Interesting.
see what it is.
Yes.
Only if you solve it.
It's on our list of things to do once the live stream is over.
Yes.
Nice.
So I have a question,
yeah.
actually, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because we are making them write up solve paths, which
Yeah.
I know how much all of us who set puzzles love writing up solve paths for our own puzzle. It's really is what makes our day. So,
Did you see Bremden?
so my question for the students is, has writing up a solve path given you any insights into your own puzzles or made you approach setting differently when you think, oh, I'm going to have to write a solve path for this?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
I hate writing them, but
You hate writing them. It's an important thing, though. So why do you say unfortunately?
I just no. It's just like I had to like figure it out too. Like I had to figure out by writing the solve path to realize like different things that come logically with it, versus just kind of like knowing it. I just hate how I figured that out and like how I took it.
Yeah.
So I keep like looking back.
Right.
But yeah.
For me, I haven't said enough to really, reach that kind of point yet. But I so far know. I don't actually really take it into account too much, because if I make it, I'm gonna then solve it, and then I know things that they won't know. But so far, at the very least, my puzzles have just been somewhat intuitive, so it hasn't been too bad. I think that if I try to go more complex, then I'll think to myself, oh, okay, then I should tone this down a little bit so that my solve path makes sense, or people don't need to rely on it. But right now, I haven't reached the point yet in terms of setting puzzles that they are painful enough to need to completely rethink the puzzle itself in order to make a solve path that is less painful to write. Though it is still for me annoying to write solve paths just because I don't really know exactly as of yet the right structure to put how much information I need to give in my solve path to make it coherent, but also not give away too much that makes it just kind of ruin the puzzle.
So one thing we did a week ago was have the students write up a solve path for a 6x6 puzzle that they had set, and put them all into a Google document and read them all and go through them and discuss what they discovered from other people's solve paths. And we're hoping that this will be a good way for them to realize that there is a suitable level of detail to put in. You don't have to say, this cell is this because this cell is this. You can say, natural Sudoku fills in these digits. Here's a snapshot. Here is a key point here that you might want to notice. You might want to ask, where can 9 go in box 1? It's restricted. Rather than just, this is the solution path, blah, 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 blah. And I thought Peter V had a lovely comment just now, which is, writing solve paths sounds like hard work, and I already have a paid job I don't like. So shout out to Peter V for that.
Yes. And I realize sitting back here without my glasses, I can't see a thing that's being typed anywhere, so I'm relying on everybody else to share comments.
Oh, they're hilarious.
Are they?
Yeah.
I'll enjoy looking back at that later. So, one of the reasons that we think it's important for the students to set solve paths and for ourselves to set solve paths. In the context of the class, it's because it's about the mathematical reasoning and communication. And that's one of the learning outcomes that's intended for this class. It does meet some of our university's requirements for general breadth education. But in terms of outside of the student experience, in terms of being a solver and a setter, we found when we were first setting that it was easy to toss together a puzzle that had a unique solution and then sort of do some hand waving and say, yes, oh, of course this step could be found. But when we had to sit down and actually explain it in a solve path or point to, here's where the key logical deduction is, it made us think about setting in different ways. And especially that idea of, yes, I have a paid job, thank you, Peter V. Knowing that a lot of times nobody's even going to look at your solve path. If the puzzle is one that whoever's solving it doesn't need the solve path, they're never even going to look at it. You have to find the intrinsic value in writing that solve path for yourself as a setter in order to force yourself to do it. So.
Zetamap has a lovely comment here. I did at one point have Ace of Spades when writing up a solve path say to me, "You tricked me into writing proofs, didn't you?"
I saw that. I was like,
lovely Zetamap. That's great.
Absolutely.
How many of you feel that way?
I feel that.
Yeah.
that actually makes
Yeah.
sense. That sums it up pretty perfectly.
Yes, unfortunately now the veil has been pulled back. You've outed us, Zetamap. The truth. So.
I think it's important to note that, like, when you're starting setting, writing that solve path is very helpful, but eventually you don't need to go through that tedious work because you've already solidified it in your brain. And then when you're doing your test solve, you can see that logic and like where things fall a little bit short just in your head. So you don't need to write it all out if no one's ever going to read the solve path, as you say. But it's incredibly helpful to write it down at the start, for sure.
And of course, we write solve paths for setting puzzles into various solving sites. I know Bremster and Kraken and Cryptic all like to have solve paths submitted with the puzzles. And that was probably why we started writing solve paths in the first place.
Right.
We didn't realize until we started doing it that it's actually a good thing to do.
Yes. Absolutely.
I was wondering of the students how much this class takes of your mental energy outside of the class. Like, are you thinking about puzzles just all the time?
I wouldn't say all the time. A decent bit, a lot more than I did before, honestly. I mean, more of it's like certain variant Sudoku and cryptic crossword puzzles have taken up more of my headspace since I started the class, very easily. Because I now think about it, like normal Sudoku. I don't know if I could go back to doing normal Sudoku because variant Sudoku is just much more fun and engaging to me. It feels a lot more fun logically, and so I'll just be sitting there and I'm just talking with my brother maybe, and then I'll just out of nowhere think of Sudoku and bring it up, and it lives in my head rent free. It's got a little apartment in there. Sadly, it had to kick out the previous tenant, but it's fine.
We have friends who have a constant betting pool as to how long it will be in a conversation with anybody new before we bring up Sudoku. And
15 seconds?
yeah, that's the smart money right there. So Bitmask, Damselfly, how about you?
I play Sudoku just about every day, just like the regular one. I don't know. It's just what I do when I'm bored. So honestly, all this class has given me is like a new pool to like pull from of Sudoku puzzles. We have a Discord where we'll like send in like puzzles to test, and like the amount of times I'll go in there, I'll be like, oh, I'm not doing anything or like I'm distracted in this class and don't want to pay attention, so I'll go play this Sudoku.
You have to concentrate on your other classes too.
I know.
We're not allowed to hear that. La 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 la.
Feeding an addiction.
Pretty much. So I think it's pretty just about the same as it was before. Now I just have an excuse to solve puzzles instead of it just being like I want to.
It's classwork.
It's yeah, exactly. It's very class.
Yeah. You're so productive.
Yeah.
keep learning the material.
We have had students come in and tell us, thank you for giving me a reason that I have to spend 9 hours a week doing puzzles. It is the greatest excuse ever. So anytime we can give students the cover to spend more time doing puzzles, we're there for it. So.
And we did have one student who took our course a year ago who said they were doing it as a challenge because they were scared of puzzles.
Yes.
And by the end of the semester, they had changed their Discord handle to X loves puzzles, and it was quite a transformation.
That's so
It
cute.
was. It was. Yes. So.
All right, we're coming up on the 30-minute mark, and we might transition to solving some puzzles soon. So maybe we can go to a tech break and figure out who is going to be solving the puzzles, and then come
And
back.
we have James Sinclair and Artisanal Sudoku coming back from the break, so we're excited about that.